It's finals time here in Houston, Texas for our Pro-Am doubles bracket here. My name is Nick DiChiria, joined by Gordon Dixon on the call for what should be a good showing here, Gordon.
Yeah, I think we do have the two best teams here. Doesn't always work out that way, but we finally saw the grit from Brock to polish off that last one against Soldier, and of course, Harder and Caballero playing well wire to wire today. Harder, obviously, I think the standout between these four players, but Chris doing a great job of filling in the holes.
Yeah, absolutely. And they've been making a complimenting team through and through. But I am happy to see, like you said, Brock really stepping up to the plate in the third place match, hitting those clutch shots, giving them a little bit of celebration here or there. Because when we saw them have that 3-0 loss in the seat match, we knew that there was more to that story. And we got to see some of that tape play out right here on our screens.
Yeah, the double dip, always a tough ask, but getting the very first leg may set the tone. So on the cork, Brock getting us underway, and so far so good.
Yeah, it should be a good showing here. If you're Harder, you're trying to just repeat another big performance, but this time get the finals win. He was just shy of getting to that seat match in the semis against Ram Guevara. Now, Chris is going to make a stand on these 18s. Does course correct pretty well. Another one of those would do him kindly. Reduces it to a 16-point difference here. But now Brock averaging a 6 so far. Yeah, raises that average on that turn to 6.67.
Goalie, great 7 mark.
Oh, but Frank finding a big one now, supporting Brock nice and well. If you're hitting that combined 11 territory, you know you're a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, big shots back to back here. Chris needs to find a new number. Some more points. He's going to do it. Oh.
Looked good on the last there, was trying to stack it up with those other flights. But Brock with opportunity, just going to grab these 2 16s and move along. I don't understand that start at the 20 there. 2 big 16s, and then after that, you could choose to either pad or go for that closing dagger on the 15. Instead, came up with a nothing sandwich, and Harder has an opportunity for a 9 mark. And these are the moments where he's really been exceptional.
Yeah, when these doors have opened, Harder has walked through more often than not.
You almost expected it to go in after the first.
I would love to see him take the 20 away right here. Oh, he doesn't do it, doesn't find, not full punishment there.
Frank just going to go ahead and move along here instead. And it does take advantage and, of course, corrects the Team Mexico ship there a little bit.
Yeah, it's so weird. I don't know why Frank and Brock feel the need to go straight for points. It almost feels like a reflex. Oh, it's my turn. Points first. When the only thing that they can do to live on is score points on these open numbers. Chris does take a whack at the 20.
That was the right shot there. His instinct, he stopped himself mid-throw to throw the 3 in the bed on the 15s. That's the right area to take that swing, and that's a costly dart. You could tell that was rushed from Brock. Harder now has a golden opportunity to take away the 20s and get the point leads on the 15. You can do both in this turn. That would be incredible on where they're at in this leg. But some rare misses. Now finding the triple twos with ease. He's frustrated on that turn, and he should be. He's been hitting those.
Yeah, back-to-back turns. He's had a big opportunity. Finds one of the darts that he needs.
And Frank does a good job on cleanup duty there. That was a crisis averted for Team Mexico.
Yeah, no, they did their very best, mostly Brock, to really bottle this leg. But now, back in the driver's seat.
Brock's just going to go ahead and get these 3 bulls to push it along here.
At least he should. I wasn't convinced that there wasn't going to be a 20 in there somewhere.
Well, you know, we were talking about that, and I have to think that maybe it's just something in their game that tells them, oh, I need to hit this point first as a comfort dart. Like, if anything, it's not even habitual. It's just the idea of that comfort. And I don't agree with the decision-making more often than not with when they're shooting them. While points do win games, there's also ways to use your marks efficiently. And while a triple somewhere else might not be a triple, triple on one segment might not be a triple somewhere else, at the end of the day, you have to take your chances when you have them. You have to dictate the pace of the game and not leave your opponent the options to choose.
And this is the first time that we've seen some
hardship from Harder?
Yeah, liability. Unfortunately, though, this is not the first time that we've seen slow play from Brock. They're going to get away with just an X on that 20. I said they're going to get away with only having an X on that 20. Chris following up with a 2 mark as well.
Yeah, bare minimum start there after the opportunity. And Frank, you got to admit, his output of marks per round is still incredible at the moment as he does find a 3 in the bed in the 19s. He's definitely been hitting what he's aiming at. That's darts.
Don't know if this is a little drop off because of sitting or what, but we see Harder finally finding a couple of triples there. Kind of expect him to shake it off, but how many legs are they going to let go by before it happens? Brock wakes up, finds 7 of his own.
Now Chris is just going to fight right on back, looking for 4 marks on the 20 to be able to have that point lead. That's a good spot on that treble. A little too good. He overcorrected almost. You just had to throw that dart the same.
Just not able to follow it. That's one of those, as a dart player, if it's a triple miss, it's a bad turn. If he'd have gone 1-1, triple 20, he'd have been thankful that he found it.
It's a matter of perspective. It's like the idea of being able to get into the snack room. You know, we all should have access, but it's about how you got in there that made the difference.
For sure. For sure. And at some point, you want to stop asking questions because you don't know if you want the answers.
The snack room or the dart game.
Yeah, there he is. Again, this feast or famine. Brock Garza. This point is feasting. Looking to go 2-0 up.
And if they can get a clean 3-0 jump on the team that 3-0'd them and reset this match, they're going to be happy about that opportunity.
Just to let everyone know, we are keeping an eye on the ladies as well as the amateur bracket. We'll be following both of those throughout the remainder of the day as we finish off this Pro-Am bracket.
Jeremy saying, good afternoon, Nick. Well, hi, Jeremy. How you doing? Robin saying, fun watch. Thanks for streaming. Thank you to our Icelandic friend. Forgotten Native America says, Modus is switching over to exclusively on Pluto TV. I can't find the Modus Super Series on the app. Is anyone having this problem? I don't know. I'm here watching darts at BullShooter. But, yeah, big announcement for him. And happy for the Modus Series, Super Series to continue to find success.
Yeah, James, this is part of a tournament series, actually, that usually starts in late September and runs through March-ish with the final event in Chicago, Memorial Day weekend. We've got some tour stops left. We'll drop the link there in the chat. But we'll be in Ohio here in a couple of weeks. A week later, we'll be in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We'll be back to Texas and San Antonio. And then word on the street, on the BullShooter streets, is Omaha, Nebraska.
Omaha
is also coming up before the end of this 39th tour. Omaha High-Low, one of my favorite poker games.
Never was an Omaha guy. I was always just Texas Hold'em through and through. That's a 2-0 lead for Team Mexico in this one. And Frank leading the pack to the 4.93. He's and you see that, and he truly is an AM that has been increasing his game in the last 12 months. And you can tell by the output of performance that he's throwing well.
We lost some of the chats. I think somebody asked if these were open events. They are. No qualifying. Now the Chicago tournament, there's some qualifying elements to that one. We also have something called the BullShooter Invitational that is going on 4 years running, where winners of some of the events, the singles for men and women, and the doubles for men, or in the open, get you qualified for that. So lots of opportunities to play some darts attached to this tournament series.
Boy, do I love darts. Yummy, yummy darts. Carter does find the 17s there, starting to show more of his form from earlier. Again, you mentioned it best, but he really hadn't struggled up until this match. I think we've seen from any of his performances yesterday or today.
Yeah, that's why I'm wondering if it was a little bit of atrophy just sitting around. Well, I can't think of a better thing to do. There does come challenges with winning the king seat in a double elimination tournament. Chris looking back for encouragement and or direction.
Yeah, he wasn't happy with either of his darts at the 18 there. If it's feeling that uncomfortable, there's a reasonable argument to just take the 16 or 15 and forego blocking the X, although blocking the X, of course, the preferred shots.
There it is, a slack turn from Frank.
And Harder just going to go ahead and continue to push the envelope along here. Now, Brock having one of those feast or famine moments like you mentioned. 1.5 is far from where we've seen him play.
Well, the good news for Team Mexico is they did get 2 legs before this kind of drop off, and Harder starting to play a little bit better, which is a great place to be because this next leg they are going to go first, regardless. They don't have to win a cork. They're going to have a chance to serve this out. Now they end up getting beat going second. Or they end up getting beat, from the 2-hole from Harder and Chris. Then it's going to be a little bit more difficult because then they're going to have cork, and we're going to start over again. But they will get that opportunity in the next leg, regardless if they don't make this giant comeback here.
Yeah, and you expect this leg to go on the board for Harder and Chris at the moment, and you can see the absolute frustration Brock is feeling right now. He needs the mental reset. This leg's a done and dusted leg. I would go even as far to say do the Kyle Liddicky special. Throw a couple 20s up there and say, you know what, it's time for the next one. Get yourself a reset. You have to have a short memory in darts, and right now you don't want this leg sticking with you to the next one when you played so well in the first 2.
There it is, Chris closing us out here in the 3rd leg. 4th leg, Team Mexico, and Brock to go first. Brock averaging less than 2 marks a turn in the last leg. Needs to start off big. Put the pressure on Jolie to start. Threading the needle on the 3rd. What a dart.
Really just taking that extra moment to pace himself here. You see, getting that extra composure. He's always good about self-pacing, but that one felt like an extra pause there, knowing he wants to go ahead and get a big start here. He does not want this to go to a second set. These are situations Frankie Z loves. Just go ahead and point it up on this turn. You don't need to do anything fancy.
Yeah, 140 points.
Just give that number, give that man a number to point on and let him run with it.
And another 7 mark.
So now Harder's just going to continue with the 7 streak. Brock did raise his average from that last leg, but only at a 4.5 when everyone else is at 7s. They're all just trying to show off. You going to take that personally, Brock? Taking the swing here. And the 7 streak continues in the bad way as he really wanted that one to go.
Oh, unlucky. Bad kick there. On the 3rd dart. So now 23-point lead in this free roll for Team Mexico. Trying to take the first set in this finals match. Team Mexico is coming out of the losers bracket. There again, we see a switch. No shot at the 18s. Takes the smaller 17. $50-point deficit for Frank. So treble 17 will give him a shot at the 19 if he wants it.
Oh, he floated that dart a little bit there, you can tell.
Yeah, I wonder if he's of a couple of minds there. Frank has been pretty dang solid on staying straight.
Do you like that Frank's wearing the Westco jersey again? That Nick West Frank Z match from NDA Team Dart this last year was an absolute thriller. Honestly, one of our classics, I think. That and the vintage Kenny Doyle run we got, where I'm not kidding you, Kenny in 6 different legs in a row and 6 different deciders hit a ton plus finish against the darts. It was one of the most incredible things, and Nico and all these other guys from Germany were stunned at the Kenny Doyle performance. We made a highlight reel just of Kenny's outs from how many he hit in a row.
Big shot there from Brock. Bringing this one back into focus.
Frank, he loves to stay on the number once he finds it. He finds all of them there, 3 in the bread. Frank collects big there, and really showing some stuff. Team Mexico firing on all cylinders in this leg. And really, all teams firing on all cylinders in this leg. Credit where credit's due.
Nice shot from Chris. Look at the standard here. Everybody getting a little piece of this one.
This is a deserving finals leg. As you can see Brock giving a little bit of a smile and a point there on that last start.
9-mark opportunity. We keep building up harder. He hasn't walked through those opportunities just yet in this match. You see Brock celebrating after the first dart goes awry. He knows that was an opportunity. How many 17s does Frank need to be safe here?
Oh, big single on this last. You saw his eyes double check. He wasn't sure for a second there, but decides to stay up. Good shot nonetheless. Again, I would just prefer the inverse order. 2 single 18s and then trip that 17. But hey, each their own, I guess.
Well, they do have to double dip. So protecting a lead. There's a little something to that. Chris just not getting anything going, and that should just about do it here. Brock with a serviceable shot. And that is not what he was looking for.
Now, Harder still has to find the 9 to make that hurt, but if he finds it, it all of a sudden gives you a breath of life that you might not have had. Helps the cause, but doesn't win the fight. And Frank taking the Donna Caddy school of thought and nailing those 17s like they did something to him.
Yeah, the 17's free right now for Frank. Chris struggled on the 16s the last time, but he's going to get another whack at him here.
Moving over, try to throw it into his dart there. You can see that one goes high. At this point, you're bailing out to the 15 if you feel blocked like this. And that's why. Now, Brock, nice and simple shot here. Big single 16. And then trip the 15, or vice versa.
And then we just see these times where Brock just kind of turns off. You can't always say that it, like right now, it kind of looks more like you're kind of taking the foot off the pedal. But in some of the scenarios, you think it might be pressure driven.
And that's the thing with Brock. I mean, when he's good, he really is good. Like, he obviously has the throw to be able to do some serious damage in any bracket he's in. But it's those small things that you really just have to dial in that make you the X factor. Because I'll be honest, overall, Frank's been playing the best as far as marks per round.
Absolutely, and the most consistent for sure. So, Brock going to step up here. Looking to close out this set. And the double dip is on. First set to Team Mexico.
Here we go. Part 2 of this showing here. This should be a good one as we got Harder and Chris going up against Team Mexico. I'm Nick DiChiria, joined by Gordon Dixon once again.
So this is the deciding set. Team Mexico taking the first set from the losers bracket, giving Harder and Caballero their first loss. The patchy play from Brock Garza. See if he can tighten that up to pull off the double dip here.
I dip, you dip, we dip. Still going to be that race to 3 format, folks, so anything is possible, especially when you're on an ice board. Way better than those fire boards. You want ice in your veins. I'll say still drives me bonkers when I hear the ice board versus fireboard versus what segment color am I looking at. Because if you're thinking about that too much, you're probably not hitting much at all. And in fact, if anything, I've heard more people that have red-green color blindness actually happy of the inclusion of the dartboard.
Yeah, it's just one more thing for dart players to be concerned with. We see a big white horse there from Jolie. Okay. That was legit.
Thank you. There's only a couple things I know in life. It's not how to spell, and it is making horse noises.
I didn't know what the other one was going to be. I knew horse noises was coming. I just didn't know what the other one was going to be.
The fun is in not knowing. Yeah, Spencer, it is still a race to 3. So you'll see that with some double elimination tournament formats where they have a winner's side and a loser's side formats. And typically you would revert to the amount of losses in that format. Pretty uniquely to BullShooter, they stick with the same. If you're in the finals, the winner's format's the winner's format. I don't know if there's other circuits I've seen that with. Tyler in the chat saying Nick scared his commentator partner off his saddle, which is kind of crazy because you just started standing up too. So I was wondering, I was like, is he in the room with us?
They got eyes on it. And the only thing I can say that Brock's inconsistency. I mean, I don't know enough about Brock. I don't see him often enough. I clearly know that that he can hit what he's aiming at a lot. I'm just wondering if it's that throw and all of the moving parts and the lean back and the elbow,
body twist,
the body twist. All of those things need to line up. And there's a popular phrase with Steel Tip where they call him a first dart merchant, where if the first dart goes where they're aiming, then that's easy to follow. That seems to be the tale for Brock. As we see Jolie taking this first leg pretty much uncontested.
Yeah, 6.6 is going to be fine work there. Even with the lax performance of a 2.33 from his partner, Chris, it doesn't matter when you're dictating the flow like that. Brock's going to be looking to try to contest this. And here's my question to you. Frank has been the more consistent player between the two. Would you have had him go first on the team?
Yeah, I probably would have made that switch probably 6 legs ago at the start of this match. But some of it, again, comes down to confidence. And if that's not something that Brock is comfortable with, then you don't want to kind of compound the concern.
Yeah, if you're Frank, you're not asking, hey, Brock, do you want me to go first? Brock has to make that decision. Otherwise, your partner's going to be like, really? You don't think I can start? You don't want to get into those waters either. It's the same thing. When I'm at a blind draw, and I don't know the person, and they don't know me, and we got each other in the blind draw, if they ask me who should go first, I will always say myself, or vice versa. If no one says anything, I will walk up. Or if they do, I want to let them do their thing. It's about the confidence of going first more than anything else. The state of mind, if you will. I'm glad that the chat is keeping track of my horse noises over the last couple of months. That started at the Filthy Assassin Throwdown, and the only reason I've continued to do those horse noises is because Ryan Keith AI generated me in a horse onesie, and then started spreading that around the internet. So here we are. At least I don't have to say "Boom Goes the Dynamite." All right.
But you did.
Okay. Well, that's not even a boom. That was a "Boom Goes the Janitor" with an 8 mark there. Take notes. We got new catchphrases. Back to the match is the only Gordon approved one so far.
It's the only one that I've understood.
Because it's from Ryan Mooneyham, the classiest of all the other ones. If he starts hee-hawing, you've gone too far.
Big last. Big last there from Chris.
This is an important turn here. This is one of those, you have to hit a defending shot here or else you're at risk of a big lead. And there, he does do the aggressive look, but Harder has an opportunity now to gain control. You can't risk a 2-0 down position here when you just fought so hard to win that first match 3-1.
Yeah, this would definitely be a letdown if they go down 2-0 in this one. We've been talking about Harder and him taking advantage of these opportunities. He seems to be back. 7-3-3. He was in the 6s in the last leg. I was curious if it was kind of that king seat atrophy. Back comes Frank, filling it up, piling a half of the 18s.
Yeah, as far as for the entirety of this match, Frank's getting the MVP for individual performance.
Oh, and he's kept him in it. Chris only able to find 2, so Brock with an opportunity to maintain the throw here.
Needs to pop the 17. You can't do that switch. I mean, you do, and you find that single, but you just got to stay determined. You're forcing yourself to jump around a little bit more than you need to there. Just risky. You don't want to play with fire here.
Yeah, literally, if I told you you were only going to get 1 mark, would you want the 18 or the 17 in that position? That's what the question you have to ask yourself. And it should be the 17 all day long. So even if you miss into the 3, that next one should fire right back into that 17.
Yeah, it's always good to tell yourself, all right, this is my plan of action. This is what I want to accomplish in this turn. This is the bare minimum I need to accomplish. This is what I want, and this is what I'm going to actually do. That's your line of thinking when you're doing your shot selection here. Good find there. Gets a 1-point lead and still keeps him in the leg here. Brock's going to need to get the point lead back and the close. This should be just a classic 1-2-3. Single for single for single. Oh, now it's not. He let everyone know in the hall what he felt about that dart.
Yeah, I don't think Jolie's going to let that one slip.
Might.
Yeah, certainly not what I thought was going to happen.
I expected a single for trip or 2 singles to get at least 1 look upstairs.
The Captain Consistency. Chief Z. It's a niner.
Truly, I mean, again, we have questioned Frank's shot selection, but the amount of output he is throwing in his darts is incredible.
Yeah, I saw they're selling buckets out there. Brock's gonna have to pony up if they pull this one off.
Went for the close on the last start, going outside on the Maloney double.
Yeah, I don't completely hate it. You're going to need Brock and them to miss anyways.
You mean saying Frank is a pro today? He is a pro after yesterday as well with that great performance that gave him runner-up in the singles as well. I do believe that is his first time on the pro list. Oh, no. Nothing happened, enough substance there. Frank should be able to just go ahead and clear this one up. No question of mind. Make this a one-to-one affair.
Yeah, Frank has just completely yanked this away from Jolie and Chris.
We were almost at a 2-0 advantage. I mean, we were talking about it like, can't happen like this, and then it didn't. Jolie said, "Really, you're not gonna hit the button?" Looks like they're having a little bit of banter. Brock's like, I got it. I
Thought they were switching.
was wondering what that was.
I thought that might have been why.
Oh, I mean, maybe. That could have been the option. I'm not sure. There was definitely a...
Was that a passive-aggressive Frank? Like, don't you want to go change the board?
I'm not going to hit that button.
I don't know either of those guys.
These hands throw 6-0s. They don't hit buttons.
Oh, are you going first?
Brock does find a 5 to answer Jolie's 5. And I feel like the man we kind of been glazing over in this matchup is Chris, right? I mean, he has been absolutely doing a good job supporting Harder in their efforts, especially during that King Seat match, but has definitely not been the tone setter at most of the pivotal points. But you don't have to be. If your partner says, I need you to just get 4 here, 3 here, whatever it is, he's been pretty consistently finding those rounds.
Yeah, filling in the holes. I mean, that really should be what the amateur's job is all day. Frank going above and beyond today for Team Mexico. We keep bragging up Jolie, but a couple of the opportunities that they had, he just did not step through that we've seen him do pretty much all day. Big 9 marks, back to back 9-8s to close teams out.
And all these gentlemen, except for Chris, are on the pro list after yesterday with Frank joining the likes. If Chris and Harder do win this out, Chris will join the pro list as the first place team. The amateur does move up to pro. And Dennis asking how many places in the open make the pro list? Top 3.
Good to know.
And if you're 2 amateurs and you win the Pro-Am, which has happened last year in Tennessee, with Mason Sasser, the 15-year-old on that team with Kelly Thornton, only 1 amateur moves up because it's only supposed to be 1 spot upgraded, and you choose.
Not it.
Mason volunteered. He said, I'm 15. I can do whatever I want. Be young and confident and cocky. And deservingly so. Mason Sasser is a good shot, even though he likes to always struggle when he plays against me. I don't know.
I was wondering if Frank was going to try to boss another leg. Taking some outside shots.
I definitely think so far towards the this portion of the final, his shot selection is a lot more agreeable with the opportunities he's been taking, where he's been going. I wonder if that was a conversation between him and Brock.
Ooh, I really like this shot. Really like that shot, snagging the 17. Even though you're down in points, right next door to the number you need to close. It is 1-all, but Brock again, just struggling enough that makes him move around the board. He almost pulled it off, though. He almost rose to the occasion. Chris needs to find some 18s and a big fat 19. Retake control. Misses by 2 numbers. And just plugs in the 19.
And this is the type of moments where, I mean, it's 1-1, but it's a race of 3. And if you lose this leg, you're going to get the start in the next. This is the moment where you take some big risks. You try to get yourself to match point first. That's the whole point of what I'm doing here. I want to get aggressive. I want to take those swings. And Frank, that was the most aggressive we've seen him play yet.
No, it really was. I fully expected all 16s there and maybe a whack at the 18.
But the question is, can Jolie hit the 7 mark here? 7 mark meaning that 4 16s and a 15 was the requisite shot he was looking for.
Wow, and he doesn't find a treble. So Brock, oh, he does it. Takes the 15, chucks it up at the 16, and does not get it. Yeah. Again, just eye off the prize.
That was an audible womp womp almost from that last start there, as he even kind of gave himself a wow. It's just one of those things where he just moves quick with his throw, and it got away from him a little bit. Is it going to be costly? It is going to at least cost 96 points so far. Frank can still revert from that crisis, but that was definitely a disparaging moment for Brock that he needs to, again, forget about in the next throw.
Well, and Frank can't take the lead after that first start and close him out.
I think I take the 4-3. I think I pop the single 16, take the 4-3 on the
100%. 100%.
If you're going to stay, you better find a triple. He did. 36-point difference there, putting it at 1 trip needed. So a 6 mark is the question now on harder.
Yeah, but the guy you didn't want stepping up there, just feel like the law of averages said he's going to hit this.
You would like to agree with you, Gordon. What a clutch dart there.
Yeah, they just played with fire so many times in this leg. Finally burned them. They did a lot of good work to come back going second. And Brock sprays him around. Does get the close on the 16.
28-point separation here. 5-3 on the Bulls. There's 2 of the 3. And there's the third one. Harder and Chris, 2-1 advantage, and on match point here in this final set of the Pro-Am doubles.
Yeah, that double bull will drop your shoulders so fast. You're like, oh, maybe if he misses, he hit a double bull.
And again, a womp womp heard around the world. Oh no, Brock cannot do this in this moment. He needs to get this close. And that's a huge find and recovery on that last dart.
Yeah, steps to the right, fires it in there.
Conversation about if we play 0-1 here in the States. Actually, tomorrow is pretty much all 0-1 for us. And it's going to be more traditional in that split bowl 0-1 as well. And I see a comment here talking about the mix of cricket and 0-1 matches. That's actually yesterday's format. It is called a combo format, or better known as a Chicago format is where that term originated from. I don't know. Jim Mounts made a video on it. That's not true. I would have watched it if you did.
I don't. I thought Chicago was 501 cricket 301.
Yeah, that's the original version of Chicago, but the 0-1 cricket mix is more so what I was referring to, is the Chicago format. You're right, though. I was a little bit wrong. It was close.
I'm sure you know what it means to be close.
What does that mean?
It's only good in horseshoes and hand grenades.
Yeah, well, close is like close, and that's something I tried to do in darts. Close numbers.
Ooh. It's about time to sew up this stream today.
Ooh, not the turn that Harder had envisioned here. He's going to have to stay and drill that 19 down the middle. Does do so. Good correction. Frank, seemingly the man of the hour in this match. And closes with authority there, down 10 points. It leaves your 20 vulnerable. I don't mind it in normal situations except for the 20, like you would say it's everyone's favorite number.
Yeah, normally, if this was 19s open, you have 18s, or you need a new number. I would go to the next, like Chris is doing here. Well, if you're just gonna chuck them all in there, then it doesn't matter what order or what you decide to do. I would have started on the 20s in that specific situation, but Chris comes up huge with basically an opportunity to finish the match here with a giant 9 mark. I haven't been keeping track of all of the 9 marks from each of these players, but what a time to hit one of his 9 marks on the day.
Again, he's kind of been one of those players that in this matchup we probably talked about and highlighted the least. It's because he's most consistently filling his role. There's no real questions about it. And while that is just it feels like a bare minimum turn, at the end of the day, that's all that matters there. You have the point lead, and now you have a 2-number advantage going into the corner pockets.
Yep. Check. Job done. We've seen explosive turns from Frank. Not quite what he had in mind there. But the MVP of what could be the deciding leg here, Chris steps up to the plate. Oof, I hate that dart.
And he moves back to the triple because he must have hated it too.
My, oh my.
Brock needs the last stand at these 15s. Needed to find 5 at the minimum on the turn, but realistically, he needed all he could get.
Yeah, thought better of just chucking that last one away. Took a step back. Did fire in a good dart, but doesn't find the treble. And 3 bulls away now from the title. Harder and Caballero.
Oh, he wanted to get it done there. He expected to get it done there. And while Harder, I will say, up until the finals, was giving the same level of performance that had started to taper, Chris has done a good job of filling in the gaps, man. I mean, they made a good team together here. And honestly, so did Frank and Brock. It was just Brock at these moments of inconsistency and Frank with some of the shot selection. If they dial that in, I mean, this match went this long for a reason, right?
Chris playing with his food a little bit here. Not able to close it out. Just too much to do here for Brock. 6 bulls would ask some questions, but I think they'd be answered. You see the
Him and Frank celebrating that one.
Yeah, the fake celebration there on 3 bulls. 1 bull here for Jolie to take the title.
Well,
huh?
There we go.
Yeah,
Gets it there. Everyone's like, come on, we know you got it. And some love and respect between these players. Jolie Harder and Chris do get that win there. And Frank, 2 for 2 for finals, 0 for 2 in those wins. He's going to feel a little frustrated, but you can see even Brock's doing the lean back. They're all having fun. A lot of respect between these guys here on the board through and through.